See my little dog in the background? Leo energy, loyal companion. His name is Marley, and he loves joining us on our yoga practice. So thank you for being here, buddy. So wherever you are, find a nice, comfortable seated position. You can do legs crisscross applesauce or whatever feels most comfortable for you. You can use a block to sit on and raise your hips or a blanket. And we'll just take a couple of deep breaths here. The focus of today's class will be moving through some strength building poses. And we're also focusing on holding these poses for up to 5 breaths. Now, don't worry, we'll make you sweat too much, but we are going to be building a little bit of fire. So the idea is to take long, deep breaths, inhaling through your nose, feeling this 3 compartments, the lower belly, the middle of the chest, and then all the way up into your throat. And so creating this big, deep belly breath all the way in. Just let some people in. All the way in, belly breath. And then all the way out in reverse. So release the throat, exhale, exhale the middle chest, and then release the low belly. And let's just practice this a couple of times, noticing how we feel in our bodies as we breathe this way. Maybe even letting out an exhale, an audible sound. Just releasing anything that's not serving you on this beautiful full moon. Take one more round of breath. And then drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Very gently reach the left arm long along the side of your body, reaching the fingertips away from your head. Creating a nice neck stretch on the left-hand side. If you feel called to, you can even take the right hand to the top of your head, giving it a very gentle little pressure. Remember those long, deep breaths here. We'll stay here for 5, and feel free to rotate your head up and down, finding any sticky areas that need a little bit of extra love today. Three more breaths. Really enjoy this moment. Last breath. And on your exhale, slowly release the hand from the head, bringing your head all the way back up to center. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a shoulder shake, a little bit of a neck move around very gently, and then we'll try the other side. So inhale, gently drop the ear to the left shoulder, and then reach the right hands long along your side, creating a nice stretch here in the right side of the shoulder. You can take your left hands on top of your head, giving it very gentle pressure, very, very gentle. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Again, you can tilt your chin very gently, very slowly up, and then down, finding any like sticky spots that need a little bit of extra stretch. Three more breaths. Really enjoy this moment. Last round of breath. And then on your exhale, gently release your hand from your head, slowly bringing your head back up to center, giving a little bit of a shoulder roll, a little shimmy. Maybe you twist your head gently from the left to the right, noticing how it's feeling. And then we'll gently roll over our toes, taking hands and knees, rolling through some gentle cats and cows here. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Inhale, extend the spine, drop your belly, lift the chin, lift the tail. Fullest expression of that long, deep inhale here. And then exhale, curving around your spine. Drop your chin, pulling your belly in and up. And then reverse, extend the spine, lifting your chin, lifting your tail, maybe even taking the eye gaze up just a bit. And then exhale, reverse the curve, pulling your belly in and up, creating a little bit of fire here. And then last round, inhale, extending the spine, fullest extension of the inhale here, lifting the tail. And then exhale, curve and round your spine, coming into cat pose. And then coming back into center, tucking the toes here, shifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now, if this is your first downward facing dog of the day, take some time here. We're going to be here for 5 breaths, maybe pedaling out the legs. Giving a little bit of activation to the back body. Gently pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Two more breaths. Last breath here. And then inhale, shift the left, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Extend the leg all the way up. We'll hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, pull that knee in towards your chest and then shift it over to the left elbow. Extend the leg, plant the foot. Raise your left arm high, fall in triangle. 1 round of breath here. Feeling the right side abs strengthening. Exhale, plant the hand first, shift the knee in, and then step the foot forward, low lunge. A little tricky, but you guys got this. Good job. This is a great time to add in some blocks or those 2 big books if you have those. Giving yourself a little bit of extra support here as you shift the hips forward into low lunge. Inhale, take the arms all the way up high, opening the chest. And then exhale, take your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers and then shimmy your arms open, opening up the chest here, and then sink back into your lunge. Let's see here for 5 breaths. 1, opening up the chest. 2, feeling the fire start to rise within our bodies. 3, feeling those hips opening, strengthening, getting stronger, getting longer. 4, you're doing great. Last breath. 5, release the hands from behind you. Okay, move your blocks if you need to. And then tuck your back toes. Step your right foot back all the way into plank pose. Holding plank pose, 1 breath. Exhale, knees to mat. Drop all the way to your belly, nice and slow. Release the toes. Press up into upward facing dog or cobra. That feels better for your back. Exhale through hands and knees, shifting the hips up and back. Downward facing dog 1 more time. Let's take a couple breaths here to settle ourselves. If you've never heard this, some yogis call downward facing dog a resting pose. So take a moment to rest. And then inhale the left leg high this time, three-legged dog, 5 breaths here. Really feeling the strength in this, the really feeling your muscles strong here. Holding your belly in towards your spine, lengthening your chest towards your right thigh. One more breath, you're doing good. And exhale, bring the knee to your nose. Shift it over to right elbow and then extend your foot, planting on the ground. Inhale, take the right arm high all the way to the sky, fall in triangle. One round of breath here, you're doing good. Feeling those left abs this time. Exhale, take the right arm all the way down, pull the knee in back towards your chest, and then shift the foot forward, coming into the low lunge. Untuck the back toes. You can grab your blocks here again if you need a little bit of extra support. Taking a breath or two to get settled. And then inhale, raise the arms all the way high to the sky, reach up. And then exhale again, take the fingers, interlacing them behind your back. If this is too much, you can just take your elbows here, grabbing opposite elbow, or even just touching hands at the low back, just like that. Whatever is easiest for you today, honor your body. 5 breaths here. 2, 3, doing good. 4, 5, release your hands. You can move your blocks a little bit to the side, plant your hands, tuck your back toes, and then shift back all the way into plank pose. Let's hold plank, feeling the fire. Pulling the abs in and up, reaching the backs of your heels all the way to the back ceiling. And then exhale, knees down, all the way down to your belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, yogi's choice. And exhale, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's couple of breaths here in downward facing dog. Maybe pump the legs, pedal the knees. One more breath. Really enjoy this moment. Pressing your chest back towards your thighs. And then inhale the right leg high one more time here. 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee all the way in. We're setting up for pigeon pose here. So bringing the knee in, placing the knee all the way down. You want to come kind of like a lightning bolt with your leg. Does not have to be 90 degrees. If your hips are a little bit tight like mine, you can take a block underneath of your right hip here, giving yourself a little bit of extra support. The idea is that our hips are shining forward towards the front of our mat. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here onto the hands. If you're feeling a little bit stronger in this pigeon pose, you can take your hands all the way up to the hips or even back behind you if you're feeling spicy. So take the variation that feels best for you today. We're just going to stay here for 5 breaths. 1, you're doing good. 2, feeling the left quadricep starting to open, the right hip giving just a little bit more. 3, see if you can release any holding within the hips, especially maybe the right gluteal muscle. 4, last breath, you're doing so good. 5, okay, this is where it gets fun. So remove the block if you need to, or if you had a block, remove that. And we're just gonna shift a little bit onto our right thigh here. Do you see that motion? Little bit of a shift, okay? And then reaching back with our hand, maybe reaching for those left toes. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just reaching back for those left toes, giving it a little bit of a quad stretch on the left-hand side. If you're feeling like this pose is easy for you, or you're feeling pretty good in this pose, you can slide, and it's not gonna happen for me, but you can slide your toes into your arm elbow crook, giving a little bit more stretch. We're just gonna be here for 3 more breaths. You're doing good. Giving a little bit more push. Last breath. Beautiful. Exhale, release those back toes. Shift back over onto your hips. Take your hands up to the yoga mat. Tuck the back toes. Shift your hips up and then step back to plank. Let's hold plank for 1 round of breath. And the knees come down, and then chest comes all the way down to the yoga mat. Inhale, upward facing dog, or you can take cobra, yogi's choice. And let's take 1 more breath here. And then exhale, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe sway the hips right and left. Just a little bit, maybe wagging the tail here. Noticing how those hips are starting to feel. And then inhale the left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, shift your knee up and forward, coming into pigeon pose on the left-hand side. Taking some time to adjust where needed. Sometimes you have to walk the back leg back just a little bit. And remember, if you need to pad underneath of the hips, you can grab a block, a nice sturdy firm pillow, cushion. Some books would be great. Those astrology books can get kind of thick. So if this feels good, you can stay up onto your hands. And you might notice maybe one hip is a little bit tighter. This is definitely my tighter hip. So if it feels good, and if you're feeling open, you can try to come, like we talked about, hands to hips or hands behind you. This is on my really tight side, so I'm just gonna stay on my hands. We're gonna be here for 5 breaths. You're doing so good. 3, 4, last breath. 5, good job. So we'll take the block out from underneath of us, or the pillow that you may have used, and we'll just slide it over to that left hip just a little bit, right? Just drop it just a little bit. And then bend into the right knee, maybe catching those toes. This is a great time to lasso your feet with a strap if you need to. A belt works great. Kids' belts are super great because they're like the woven fabric ones. A scarf. So we're just going to be here for 5 breaths, and every breath that you take, you exhale, see if maybe you could pull the toes a little bit closer to your gluteal muscles. 2, 3, you're doing good. Almost there. 4, feel free to open mouth exhale at any time. Release the fire. 5, awesome, good job. Release the grip on the back toes. Shift your hands forward, tuck the back toes. Lift your hips, step back to plank. Let's hold plank for 1 round of breath. And then gently take your knees all the way to the mat. Chest comes all the way down. And then gently push up, upward facing dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Lifting the kneecaps. Exhale through hands and knees, coming up into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in downward facing dog here, maybe wagging your tail, pedaling your legs, whichever feels best for your body. Last breath. And then slowly start to drop the knees all the way down. And then you can sit onto your knees here. So now we're gonna try some fun camel poses. Really big heart opening, nice extension in the spine here. So if you need some extra support, grab some blocks here. I know I definitely do. My front hips are very tight. And if you're like me, you sit a lot at the desk, this might be a very exciting pose for you. So we're gonna do half camels. So if you have a block, you can set it next to your ankles here. Let me turn a little bit so you can see me. So you can set it next to your ankles here. Or alternatively, you can tuck your toes. So that lifts the ankle a little bit, right? Okay. So hands to hips. Okay. Extend the spine high to the sky, firm through the thighs. Okay. Firm through the thighs. And then exhale slowly. We're going to do one set at a time. Slowly reach back with your left hand first. Little bit of a back bend. And then lift the right arm. Nice and gentle. Easy does it. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 2, 3, 4. Last breath. 5. Exhale, gently coming all the way back up. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Very gentle with our spine. And then we'll switch to the other side. So taking your hands to your hips, firm through the thighs. Nice and firm thighs here, lifting the kneecaps up if that makes sense. And then inhale, lengthen the crown towards the ceiling. As you exhale, reach back with the right hand this time to your heel or to a block, whichever feels good. Start to reach back and then lift the left arm high. So we're shifting our hips forward and doing a nice back bend. So extending the back. We'll stay here for 5. 2, 3. You might notice that with every breath, you can extend just a little bit farther. 4, 5. Exhale, gently turn to come all the way back forward. Remove your blocks over to the side. Coming all the way down to sitting on your heels just for a second. Just for a second. And then let's come all the way down into child's pose. Take an embryo shape of child's pose, reaching your arms along the sides of your legs. Forehead comes all the way to the yoga mat. We'll just stay here for 5 breaths. With every breath, feel as if your lower back is expanding. Two more breaths. And then gently swoosh your hands up towards underneath of your shoulders. And then gently press yourself all the way up to seated. Take a moment here to allow yourself to find a little bit of equilibrium. And then we'll start to shift, or you might need to shift your knees back like me. And then we'll come into our favorite puppy pose. So hands and knees here, knees underneath hips. And then slowly start to walk your hands out forward, coming into puppy pose. So gently reaching the chest towards the yoga mat. You can take the chin, or even you can take just the forehead. So yogi's choice, we're gonna be here for 5 breaths. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Slowly, very gently start to shift and shimmy yourself all the way forward. Coming into cobra pose. Elbows underneath shoulders, opening up the collarbones to either side of the room, left and right. We're going to stay in cobra pose for about 8 breaths, allowing the lower back to gently release, allowing the sacrum to kind of relax just a little bit. Might be feeling super spicy right now, like a little bit warm. This is a great time to think about some of the things that you want to release, right? This is a great time to do some of those open mouth exhales. Maybe even sticking your tongue out like a lion. And just releasing that energy that needs to come out. We're just going to be here for a few more breaths. So really take your time here. Last breath. And then slowly take your hands underneath of your shoulders here. And then press up into upward facing dog, lifting the kneecaps up. And then shifting through hands and knees, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to find the opposite sensation with the spine. 2 breaths. On your last exhale, gently bring the feet all the way through to seated. You can do a jump through if that feels good, or if it's in your practice, or just gently walk the feet all the way forward. We're going to come into our Dandasana shape. And so toes are flexing back towards your face. Kneecaps are lifted, strong through the legs here. Pulling the belly in and up. This is an active shape. So press into the floor beside your hips, lengthening the spine. We'll be here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, belly pulls in and up, strong thighs. 3, top of the crown is lifting towards the ceiling. 4, and 5. Release the flexion of your body here, and then reach towards your toes. Okay, it can be on ankles or calves or all the way around your toes, whichever feels best in your body today. Just reach towards those little piggies, giving yourself a nice big inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold forward, seated forward fold. We're just going to be here for 5 breaths, really allowing your body to relax. 4, 3, 2, last breath. 1, and slowly start to walk yourself all the way back up. And then bend into the knees. We're gonna come to lying all the way down onto our back. The feet are planted. And then walk your feet to the wide edges of your mat. We're gonna come into constructive rest pose. So feet are at the wide edges of your mat. Knees come to touch in like a triangle type of shape. And we'll just take a moment here to allow the spine to decompress, allowing our energy to settle. Maybe even taking a moment of gratitude for stepping onto your yoga mat today. On your next exhale, bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Really wrap the arms around the legs, squeezing it in. Nice big squish. The biggest bear hug. And then reach for the outsides of your feet, coming into happy baby. And we'll just take a couple breaths in happy baby. And this is a great time to have a little bit of fun in your practice. Maybe you roll from the left to the right, connecting to the inner child of place. Play opening one leg, and then lengthening and stretching the opposite leg open, just like a baby would do. Really taking this moment for you and what feels good for your body, inviting a little bit of curiosity and play into the mix. I personally love rolling from side to side. It's such a lovely massage for your back muscles. Take one more round of breath. Really enjoy the sensation. And then as you come into stillness, release the grip of your feet. Bring your knees back into your chest. One more hug. Exhale and release the right leg long all the way, taking the left knee into your chest. Exhale, spin the left knee over to the right, maybe onto a block or a bolster or a pillow. Yogi's choice. Inhale, take the left arm all the way high to the ceiling. And then exhale, cactus the left arm open. We're just going to stay here for 5 breaths. Allowing your body to subtly detox all of your internal organs. A physical shedding of energy and things inside of our body that just need to be released. This is a great shape for that. Last round of breath here. On your exhale, gently bring that left knee back to center. Allow the right knee to join. Bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself another big hug, a moment of thank you, a moment of gratitude. And then exhale the left leg long this time. Bringing the right knee into your chest. Nice big hug with the right knee. Thank you. Right leg. And then exhale, spin and rotate the right leg over to the left-hand side, maybe onto some blocks or a pillow, whichever feels best for your body. And then inhale, take the right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cactus the arm all the way back down, opening the chest, giving a little bit more counter spin. Allowing your body to physically and energetically and emotionally to detox. This pose is like wringing out our whole body like a wet washcloth. With every breath, allow your body to sink deeper into surrender. Last breath here. On your next exhale, gently guide the right knee back towards center, giving it a little hug before sending it back on its way to meet its twin. Allow yourself to set up for our final shape to take rest. Maybe rotate the shoulders underneath of your back, opening up the chest. Maybe snake the spine all the way down towards your heels to lengthen the spine. If you're feeling a little bit chilly, this is a great time to add in a blanket to make yourself that much more comfortable. And then while you guys are finding that beautiful relaxation, I will put on some sound healing music for us. yourself a long, deep breath in. Bringing just a little bit more awareness back to your body. Maybe start to allow a little bit of gentle movement, maybe a little smile to your face, wiggling your fingers and toes, rotating your ankles and wrists. And then maybe if it feels good, take your arms overhead, giving yourself a nice big good morning stretch, lengthening from head to toe. Taking a moment to reawaken. If that feels good, maybe you start to bring your knees into your chest, giving yourself another nice big hug, a moment of gratitude. Thanking yourself for showing up for yourself, for filling your cup. And then slowly, as you start to feel ready, you can roll to your preferred side, taking your time. And then when you're ready to awaken, renewed and refreshed, you can slowly bring yourself back up to seated, taking your time. And then I'm going to pull us a card from the Yogic Path deck. This is by Sahara Rose. I don't know if you can see it or not. This might be a better picture. The Yogic Path. This is one of my favorite decks. So the card we chose today was Hanuman. And if anybody knows about Hanuman from yoga philosophy, this guy like jumps across land, these giant, I think it was the Ganges River. So we'll read about him. Hanuman. Ooh, if I can find it. Here we go. Oh, y'all, this is so perfect. Okay, let me show you the picture. It's great. Hanuman, god of courage. If that's not perfect for Leo season, I don't know what is. Or Leo full moon. Hanuman represents the evolved mind and the potential we all have to no longer be enslaved to our thoughts, but rather surpass them. When Lord Rama asks Hanuman, "How do you look upon me?" Hanuman answers, "When I believe I am the body, then I am your faithful servant. When I know I am the soul, I know myself to be a spark of your eternal light. And when I have the vision of truth, you and I, my Lord, are one and the same." To draw upon Hanuman symbolizes you are aware of this truth. You are more than your physical body, your ego self, your personality, your soul. The truth is that you are the divine, as we all are, split from the same source. Continue to practice meditative states where you are reminded of this universal truth to aid in your evolvement. Hanuman, thank you for coming through. Oh, that was such a perfect card to pull. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. My heart goes out to all of you. Happy full moon. Mwah. And we'll see you soon. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.